Yeah. I mean,
So your Dave
yeah.
Hall question.
Yeah, Dave
I'll go
Hall
back to
and
that.
Golden Chambers. Yeah.
So adding on to what Teisha was saying, yeah, absolutely. And another thing, it is no secret, I say all the time, the industry has changed a lot, right? So we went from a place of, like Grapevine was almost damn near 6-minute song, right? It was just songs were much longer, much more wordy. We read more. There were newspapers, there were albums, we read liner notes.
Yeah.
Now we're in an industry where connoisseurs do that, but the average person just wants it quick. You know what I mean? It's TikToks and, things have to go viral. So I know that is not the space in which I live. I'm a whole R&B girl all the way. Like, you know what I'm saying? R&B, a little rock, edgy, whatever. And when Marcus said, I've lived this music, I'm breathing this music, I'm paying attention to what's going on, I'm telling you this thing is the record. Don't worry about, well, send it to, let's hear it. Nope. You'll hear it when you get to the studio. And when we went into the studio, it was like, ooh wee. And then we didn't pick the order of who's saying what. He was like, this is how we're going to do this. And he also, it's important to note, programs our live show. We worked with him for the first time as our MD in Detroit at the Aretha Franklin Arena, and hands down was one of the best live shows we've had, because he is just a guy who understands, like your Dave Halls and your Darren Whittingtons and Gordon Chambers. They're musicians and producers, right? Brownstone has always had the blessing of having producers that are also very talented musicians and understand music, right? And you'll see we did, we're documenting the journey as we go along. And one of the conversations that Marcus and the group had was, for me, it was, wow, Brownstone fans are going to really be surprised, because we're not giving you these big, there's not all these big vocal moments, but I complain about those moments live because I'm singing at 52 in my 23-year-old voice. So it is refreshing to just vibe. And what's interesting is that is where Maxee wanted us to go in terms of direction as a group. She's like, and if you think about her voice and the music even that she was pursuing in her solo career, it was much more of a vibe. It was much more of a bop. It was, and we're gonna have those moments, because let me tell you, if you think this one got a big mouth and a throat on her, that one this one over on the other side right here, they don't even, we had to warm people up a little bit before we unleash the dragon, right? So, and you're gonna get that. We're gonna give a body of work. So to answer the question, I know I went all around the mobile. But to answer the question, Dave and I are in conversation about records. I'm like, Dave, you got a record? Gordon Chambers and I just talked last week. Like, we are definitely creating a body of work.
You pulled Gordon up on stage in New York.
I sure did. Exactly. Okay. Gordon performed with us in New York. Exactly. So it's just, and we're going back to this whole, like, don't rush mentality. Like, that is the Beyonce of us all. Shout out to Beyonce, who I actually remember us motivating them before one of their first shows in LA, in the back of Prince's Club. It's crazy. But we're going to do a body of work, and that takes time. And we're going to, I know people are used to EPs and short records and whatever. We're going to give y'all a little something to make you pay attention. And then we're going to hit you with the wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, on this here record we finna do.
Okay. Are we going to, Teisha, are we expecting a full album? Or what? Because I don't, it's hard for us now, as I said, the consumers who, the way we consume music is very different. But what should we expect from Brownstone?
I think we're gonna, our thoughts are to hit you with about a good 3 or 4 hot singles, so an EP, right? And then from there, we'll just add, as she keeps saying, a body of work, we'll add. And, it may turn into a full album, it may not. But no, like, and we're not comparing ourselves to, who's out there now, but you just have to pay attention to what's going on. You don't get too many people doing a full album like that, like earlier. Beyonce has how many singles on the radio?
Right.
you know. You have people who will do a full album, but for the most part, let's be honest, everything is so People don't want to sit down and listen to a full album like that. They want to listen to 1 or 2, 3 songs and they're done with it. And then they're on to the next artist.
Yeah.
So that's
And over the course of a year, you might get 10 records.
And over the course of the year, you right. But right now, to drop a whole album, that's not necessarily our vision. But we do want to keep hitting you with something. We're going to keep building and building and building. And you'll look up and say, oh my God, they got an album and it's crazy. Yes.
But the other question I always ask, I guess, who are releasing new stuff is are you looking for the singles to pay the bills, or is it more like, okay, this is a way of saying, hey, we're still here, it's charting, which is great, but it you know, it's not like back in the day where we needed to go platinum for us to be able to support it.
Yeah, no, I was having this conversation with my husband, and it takes, from what I understand, like 75 spins to get like half a penny. So we might be about $10 right now. But I think if that, but what I do believe again is, you know, the opportunities that come as a result of putting out good work. You know, I know that we will be in the UK touring. I know that we will have the opportunity, you know, to share and brand and cross promote some of the other amazing things that we're all working on, right? You know, everybody has an amazing project. And I think it's just about visibility, right? Once you get into the visibility space of it, your consumers can kind of meet you where you are. It's so much SVOD and, you know, subscription on demand. So it's kind of like appointment TV. You don't want that anymore. It's just, you know, we want to just put out great records, and hopefully that raises our visibility and creates more opportunities.
Okay. The Alex asked something about, when did Brownstone record a song called Revenge?
That was Maxee. So when we talk about, and so let me say this. So we have been pondering sort of a greatest hits and unreleased sort of record moment, you know. Maxee did Revenge as a part of her finding herself and finding her voice, right? And Sony put the record out, you know, just because it was something that happened during the exploration period. So anything you record is just like, let's get that, let's get that. And so the stuff that we didn't really put on the album was still the property of the label. So those were like those filler records that didn't make. I think I'm Not Her and a couple other records that just came up. So, but Revenge was legitimately a record that Maxee wanted. I think she wanted it on the second album, and it didn't make the second album, or it didn't happen in time. The album was already serviced. So I think she recorded it shortly after. But a great record.
Okay. Hey everyone, I want to thank you for being part of Halftime Chats. This new update is really about our membership, and I'm really excited to be able to fully launch the membership page. There will be things like full interviews from day one. As soon as the interview drops, you get access to it without any ads on it. There'll be some exclusive member-only videos that will just be some behind-the-scenes stuff and some other things that will never be broadcast. For some members, you can be able to get actually 2 interviews, because I do have a backlog of almost 7 or 8 interviews that I don't even know when I'm going to be able to broadcast them. So you're able to get at least some of those up front, and some just behind the scenes stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes that I have never been able to talk about or release. For anyone else, you know what, the videos will still be the same. Over a week or a week and a half or 2 weeks, depending on how long it is. So everything stays the same. The polls stay the same. The community chats, the community stuff stays the same. But I think with the membership stuff, I'm able to add a little bit more and invest a lot more time and energy in really supporting the members. So I do hope you come on that ride with me. I appreciate the support, and this will just help me continue to invest in taking things to the next level. Take care.
You know. I begin to